All right, we are here live for SaberCats podcast episode 2. Well, this one actually won't be a SaberCats podcast. This will be the second half or the second third of my triangle of podcasts where I would talk about different things. So you guys heard the SaberCats podcast with episode 1. This will be the Nsfl themed episode 1, and we wanted to kind of keep it light for the pre-draft / draft day kind of stuff. There's been a lot of tensions building up. We've had a lot of excitement come through the league. So I brought in my good friend Kckolbe, and we are going to talk about the fun, great world of the Nsfl trading cards that have just come into circulation here, and we've just had the first few packs open today. So I'm going to turn it over to Kckolbe for a little bit to introduce himself and talk a little about what we're going to be talking about today.
All right, thanks for having me. It's definitely a lot of fun. I'm not even a fan of trading cards in real life, but I am going nuts about these. I think just the ability to see your own player on a trading card and to be able to trade them and select them is just one more way that the league is feeling so much more alive and real. And I love that more than anything.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying seeing this league kind of come to life over the past few days and really over the past few seasons. Season 2 kind of felt like it was down about midway through, but it feels like something's happened in the last week or two that's really brought life back in, and these cards just kind of cement that in there as this is a thing that is real, that has life.
Absolutely.
So you're going nuts for these cards. Have you bought any packs yourself?
I actually had 3 packs open tonight and got a ton of grays. I have 2 gray Vincent Sharpay cards. So first of the whole system, and I already have rare duplicates.
Remind me again, gray is what rarity?
So there are 15 grays, there are 10 reds, there are 5 blacks, and 1 teal. And then there's also the autos and titans. Those I'm not as sure of. But I know that those are quite rare. Also, I want to say a fire one as well. So there's a few that I'm not entirely sure on.
Right. And there's also, the autograph cards series as well.
Yes.
Which
I said auto. I abbreviated it.
Oh, sure. No, sorry. I misheard you. I apologize. So we got the autograph ones, the fire ones. We got the team cards, which I actually didn't know were going to exist, which I think are pretty cool. Do you know offhand how many cards per team there are as far as the team cards? I've seen a series 1 and a series 2. Okay. I only briefly glanced at the released players cards, but I didn't see the team cards. So do you yourself have a player card? I don't actually know this. I forgot to check.
Neither of us actually have cards in series 1. I'm not sure how they went into that. If you want, we can jump into that now or save it for later.
Yeah, just one quick correction. I actually do have a card in Series 1.
Yes, I'm very sorry. I just saw it.
That's all right. Yeah, John Canton Series 1, and it is one of the rare autograph cards you can get.
Nice. Well, I think every player has the same chance of having so I said there's 15 grays. There's 15 grays per player. There's 10 per player. So yeah.
Right. No, I knew that. No, what I was saying was this is the part I really knew was because they had contacted me about this a little bit before they released the cards, is there are 4 players per team, and each team, one of those 4 players was selected to be an autograph card or have an autograph rarity card. So there will be, every player has their standard base, their gray, their teal, their red, their whatever colors you want as those rarities, and then one player on each team, there are the chance you can get their autograph card. So it's myself. I don't know the other players on the other team. I would assume it's arguably one of the more active players on the team, though they did seem to choose the most active players on the teams as a whole.
That's really good to see, because I think for the cards themselves, the way they did it was odd. I don't feel that they really did it by activity or by stats, or I just couldn't find any real common theme
Okay.
How they did it.
I was basing it. I'll be honest with you. I was Homer basing it off what I saw from the SaberCats because our 4 chosen were myself.
For years. So it's Smallwood, Charpentier, Canton, and Miller. Like
that's the power 4 right now of the SaberCats roster's most active members. With exceptions everywhere else. We've been trying.
Smallwood being one of them over, say, Shane Weston. If they were going to do another wide receiver.
Yeah,
or Ethan Hunt, who is, for better or for worse, definitely one of the more well-known members of the team.
Definitely one of the more well-known members. Yes. I'd love to see. I will be very interested to see what comes out in Series 2 because I know the players on my team. I'd love to see get cards with Shane Weston and Ethan Hunt being 2 of them. But I also know the players on my team who I know will get cards, but don't necessarily not that they don't deserve them, but that there are other players I'd love to see get their moment in spotlight through these cards.
Likewise, yeah.
So who from your team was selected? It was
So obviously, most of them make sense. Josh Garden, hard to. Now, in general, by the way, there were 6 wide receivers out of the 32. 30% of the starting wide receivers in the league were represented in cards, which was far and away the highest percentage.
Wow, that is significant. I think you broke up a little bit in there. So you said 6 wide receivers were chosen out of how many?
Well, if you figure there's about 20 starting wide receivers, because you figure the third wide receiver has about a 50% chance of being out on the field at any one time.
Sure.
So even being generous there, and allowing for them, that's still 30% of a team's starting wide receivers have a card already.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, way too much. But Josh Garden, undeniably one of the headliners.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's famous throughout the league. He's one of the stars that we all know and love. I mean, There was no doubt that he was getting a card. So
he's kind of like Stormwood. Like he could have a shitty year in stats. Everyone's going to talk about him.
Oh yeah.
So he was the first one. No surprise there. Absolutely love it. Matt Axelson, one of only 4 offensive linemen to make the cut.
Yeah.
Far and away the lowest represented. But undeniably, he is one of the best. And given that he's also, by Verscap, our GM, couldn't get a more deserving person there.
No, absolutely not.
Dermot LaBelle.
That makes sense.
Number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Yep.
Great cornerback. Ward Fieldson's the only one that I have to admit I was a little bit off on.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, I would have expected you guys have a stellar running back there who I feel like gets a little more attention.
Honestly, Bubba Duck. So there were only 2 RBs chosen, by the way. Darlene Farlane was one of them. The other one was Artie Sadea.
Wow.
Well, Artie Sadea makes a lot of sense when you think about the fact that there are a ton of active players on the Legion that you want to highlight.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Darlene Farlane got a ton of attention by being both a lead rusher and a fumble machine. Stat-wise, he's probably one of the most controversial players. That is absolutely a cool card to have.
Yeah.
I would have preferred to see someone like Ross Tweed out there. But
Sure.
But honestly, the Saints have some good players. Or the Saints, sorry, I was looking at Jonathan Saint. You have some good players.
Yeah, they do.
Ward Bjornsson, I don't know. Chris Rose, best QB in the league. One of the best 2 years running.
Yeah.
Ricky Maddox, by the way, neither Ricky Maddox nor George Wright made it.
Really? So are there any tight ends at all? I didn't pay attention to Demirio. You said Demirio has a card. He's the only tight end in the league who has the card?
That is correct.
Wow. I mean, I guess you could expect that. That's not really a wow factor, considering there's only 3 tight ends in the league who really do anything. And that's not a knock on any of the other tight ends in the league. That's just there are 3 that we know are heavily active, have high TPE, and add a significant factor to their team, especially once we factor out Carmel Gibson, who...
in fact, over the second half of the season, Demirio led all tight ends in yardage.
Wow, okay.
Now, he's only a receiver. He's shit for blocking, whereas Maddox and Wright are both
Right. But, I mean, in the defense there, when we correlate this to the real NFL, Antonio Gates and, Vernon Davis are lauded for their receiving, and we talk about people like them, but we don't really talk about, like, Darren Fells or Cole Wick or any of those guys.
True, but bear in mind, George Wright led the league in receptions this year.
Okay. That makes sense. In my experimenting with...
everyone in reception.
Did he really?
Yes. He was a check-down monster this year.
Well, again, I will tell you from my experience, and I hopefully will hear more of this in one of the later podcasts planned up here. My experience with the simulation from my end was that it loves tight ends. They are seen as the ultimate. If your QB's intelligence is 80 or above, he will keep an eye on that tight end at all times and check it right down to him. So it makes sense to me that a tight end would lead the league in receptions. Now, that the tight end that led the league in receptions did not get the card. Am I right in that one? I feel like I'm...
That is correct.
Yeah.
And what's weird about that, sorry, I'm going off on tangents. But
no, you're fine. You're fine. I brought you in to hear. Love to hear.
The Otters had Winchester, Mike Boss, Ian Babbitts. None of those I would take away from.
Yep.
Maybe Babbitts, just because there's a lot of linebackers who I feel are comparable. But
okay.
Ragnar Cronin.
But who was their fourth one?
Ragnar Cronin. Safety.
Oh, yeah.
A disappointing player. I would have much rather seen George Wright in that spot.
Yes, I would have too. Absolutely.
So there are a couple. That's what I mean when I say there's some odd inconsistencies on who made it and who didn't.
Right. Now, here comes that brings me to an interesting question here. So we know that there are players who are either more active or statistically showing up better results that have cards than some of the other choices that they have. But do we see those cards coming out more common? I know you've done a little bit of analysis of the cards that have come out so far. Are we seeing players that we would deem as less impressive? And I mean that in the nicest of way, just they don't show up on the stat sheet anywhere near as much as some of the other stars that have cards. Are we seeing those come out more often, or is it kind of pretty evenly spread across the board?
You mean in terms of which ones have cards or which cards have been opened so far?
I know we're limited sample size because there's not that many that have been opened so far. I guess I was using that. So, say for instance, the Otters safety. We know he doesn't put up the best safety stats of any safeties out there. Flock has that far and away. But does he pop out of the Otters cards more often than, say, Mike Boss, or more often than, say, any of the other cards? Or does he pop out more often than any other card in the series? I guess my question is...
I think I've only seen one Cronin, but as you said, it's a small sample size, so...
Yeah, so obviously we won't know a ton more, but you've only seen one Cronin. Okay. Who's the most common card out there right now? Do you know that one?
Sharpay, but I didn't count that.
Say that again? That was Sharpay, who's the most common card out there?
I can say that because I've seen at least three Sharpay Grays thus far out of the 15 total.
Wow, that's surprising that he's popping up that much.
But again, with the sample size that small, I don't want to draw any conclusions from that.
No. I was just curious with what we've got. Obviously, all of this is pure speculation because there's only... do you know how many packs have been opened so far? I know you did some stats before this.
That I did not think to look at.
Okay.
Part of that was because not everyone who purchased had theirs open tonight. Some of them.
Oh, I didn't know that. I had not gone through it. I've been at work.
No worries. But I didn't know how many would be open tonight until they opened them and said that's it for tonight. So.
Oh, okay. Are they limiting the amount that are being opened per day, or are they just kind of opening as they have time?
I think it was just more of a they looked at a certain time and said, okay, everyone's placed an order by this point. We're going to go ahead and run the numbers for those, and we'll just do the rest later. I don't think it was anything.
Okay. I didn't know if they were having a schedule on this, or if it was just kind of now that once they get the ball rolling, it'll just be you buy a pack, and as soon as they get the chance to process that, as soon as the bank processes it, and as soon as the card commissioners, I believe they like to be called, process that they'll just open it. Now, is there I'll be straight with you. I have not been on the site at all at work today. Have not been on the forums. Is there an opening thread, or is there just kind of, how are they dealing with this?
Oh, that was done so there's a trading card section, of course, now.
Right.
And in there was a topic called pack openings. And that's
okay. Okay. Yeah. So they did finally open that up, because I know they opened while I was at work. So pack openings, simple enough. I'm there right now. Perfect. That works easy enough. And then are they automatically adding them to collections, or is that on the opener?
It seems that it's on the opener. Bear in mind, today all we saw were which cards we got. We didn't actually get to see the cards. Those aren't going to be released until tomorrow. So basically,
I apologize. Can you repeat what you just said there? You broke up quite a bit.
Not a problem. So tonight they announced which cards everyone got, but we don't see them.
Oh, okay.
I know that I got a Vincent Sharpay Gray. Tomorrow I'll see what it looks like.
Gotcha. That's okay. I was thinking that they were gonna, because I remembered watching the raffle opening and they didn't have those out, but I figured that they would come out with the pack openings, but apparently not. So interesting. So has there been any interest? Have you noticed anything about them being used in terms of currency? Are people trying to buy specific cards?
I can't wait, to be honest. We have seen trades, but thus far they've been kind of even trades. It's been a base for a base or a grade. We haven't seen I'll give you this and 100K for this. And
right.
I think we're just going to need more cards before we start seeing that.
Sure. Because I know for myself, I don't know how much I'm going to have to pay for it. I'm sure the price will go up. If I could get a John Canton autograph card, I would be willing to pay money for that. But I don't know if we can just straight up go cash for cards kind of thing, if there's anything in a vein of that, if that market's going to appear.
I don't know that it's there, however, and I don't want to speak on that, but it seems that that is the intent.
Okay.
That it is intended for these cards to have value, and that it is not a violation of our money transaction rules.
Okay.
To pay for a card. So unless obviously if someone pays like $1 million for a base card, I'm sure someone's going to step in and go, no.
Right.
It's no longer money. But I think that they do expect these to be collector's items and for them to have value.
That's okay. I definitely like that aspect of it, of maybe players looking out for their own cards, of maybe people trying to make a full collection of all that kind of stuff, and seeing how rarity and how borders or specific backgrounds add to that. Because, and I could be wrong about this, for any of the cards, they are available as a base, as any one of the borders, as possibly an autograph if they're one of those cards, and then as one of the inserts where it's Titans or Firepower or whatever.
So the Titans and Firepower, I'm not really sure how that works.
Okay. That's what I'm wondering, because the question for me would be, do Titans and Firepower not override, but is it only going to pop up as like a color border or a Titan Firepower or whatever else? Or could you have a color border on a Titan card?
Thus far, there has not been a Firepower or Titan and border.
Okay.
So my guess is no, but it could just be dumb luck.
No, that would make sense. Now,
and another thing I can say is that there is more than one autograph per card, and we know that because Christie 95 today won 2 autographed Jace Tucks in one pull.
1-2. Say that again. 1-2 what?
Jace Tucks autographed cards.
Wow. That's
so the season 2 MVP. Obviously, that's not official yet, but I feel safe bet. And just absolute beast of a player. Already has 2 autographed cards out there, and they went to the same person.
That is nuts.
Yes.
So is he the only autographed card out there right now?
Negative. Mark Ramrio has an autographed card out there. There may be another that I'm just not thinking of.
So Mark Ramrio and your mic cut out for a second. What was the other one?
Jace Tuck.
Jace Tuck. Okay, Jace Tuck has one. Jace Tuck auto. Oh yeah, Jace Tuck and Mark Ramrio, and those are the only ones, right?
Yeah, but Jace Tuck has 2 so far.
Right. Well, yeah, he has 2 of them. Jeez. Okay, Mark Ramrio. I'm looking through the card pulls right now just to see kind of what's going on. I haven't seen anything other than team cards 1 and team cards. So if I had to guess, I'd say there's only 2 team cards because it looks like each team card. I saw earlier today some photos of team cards that had been posted in the Discord. I don't know if you caught that or not.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, there was in the Discord and somewhere else I had seen them posted, I thought. But the team cards appear to have 2 of the team's players on the card.
Okay.
So
I do know that when they were pulled, you would see team card Legion 1 and Legion 2.
Right. And like I said, from what I saw in the pictures of the cards, they had... Oh, I know where it is. It's in their... if you go to people's card collections. I'm in the transactions. I'm in the card collections right now. I'm going to pull up Artie Sevilla because I know he got stuff. And I see his card right there. You got him as his fun little thing, Artie Sevilla, running back for the Legion. Obviously a modified Le'Veon Bell picture, and it looks pretty good. And then right under that, he's got the SaberCats one where you've got Shane Weston, Vincent Sharpay in dual poses there.
Oh, okay.
He's got a Mike Boss blue border, or teal Mike Boss, which is insane. Yeah, so you got the only one there. He's going to have that. I'm sure someone will try to make a play on that possibly. But so the pictures appears are out. So I'm curious to see.
Well, this was from the raffle poll. So
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but I mean, so we do have some pictures out, and we can kind of see what's going on. But that's where I'm basing my team cards off of. Is his SaberCats team card has 2 players there in poses. So I would assume that if the 2 are on one, the 2 will be on the other, and there'll be team cards for every series would be my guess.
So, put you on the spot a little bit. Of the players that don't have cards so far, Series 2, who will you think is just the ultimate insult if they don't appear in Series 2?
All right, hold on. Let me really quick so I don't name someone who already has one. I want to look at who has one currently. So Nsfl Series 1 checklist. All right, so we've got on the Hawks, we've got Darling Family. All right, Series 2. If I don't see, and I'm gonna play this. He's an amazing player. If I don't see a flock card,
good call.
I feel like he's getting dicked over hard, and I hate to say it like that, but that dude lit it up. That was the GOAT safety this past year.
Well, Jeremiah Jefferson was amazing as well.
Lincoln Jefferson. Sorry, Lincoln Jefferson would be my other choice if he doesn't already have one.
Jefferson has one already.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought I saw him.
Do not have a card.
That's what I meant. Yeah, Flock Jefferson killed it too. Both of those guys are absurd safeties. The other one I would choose would be I will be honest. I pay way more attention to defense than I do to offense. If I did not see an Antoine Delacour card, I'd be amazed. Or because I think because we've got Dermot Lavelle, we have do we have
quarterbacks, by the way?
Yeah, Dermot Lavelle, me, and who was the other one that I'm missing? Darnell Turner.
And the Hawks one, actually, I was kind of disappointed. Did you just cut out?
Yeah, I'm surprised.
So, we have Darlene Farlane, who I think is an interesting player, and I was glad to see a card for him.
Right.
And obviously, Stephen Harrison, guy's a beast. Huge part of that front seven. Cooper Christmas, I want to say it was like the number 7 wide receiver in yards this year. Like,
yeah,
kind of underwhelming. I would have rather seen Hendricks. I had to pick someone off the top of my head, or Erasmo Broadway. Obviously, he had an insane year. That would have been a worthwhile pick. Or if we're going to pick another quarterback, obviously Delacour. Christmas and Turner were both, I thought, pretty meh players.
Yeah, he did really good. I'm looking through and I'm spacing on names. Felipe Carter doesn't have one, does he?
No, he does not.
I'm surprised on that one too.
If you want to name quarterbacks, you got kind of shafted. Hayden should have been on there.
Yeah. All right. Well, so we've heard my ideas of who should be on the list, who kind of got shafted. Who do you think should be on the list or should be on the list that you think got shafted?
I guess if I had to narrow it down to one player, I'd probably have to say Hayden. We mentioned him earlier, cornerback for the Yeti.
Yep.
Obviously, one of the best just shutdown corners in the league. On top of that, one of only 2 players in the entire league to get a punt return and kick return touchdown.
Wow.
The other one being Shane Weston. Yeah. So, I mean, this is a guy who's just an absolute all-star in defense and special teams.
All right, so if you're looking at that, you're saying Hayden definitely deserves to be on there. Who are you pulling off?
I have to say Blaster Blade. For the Yeti, it's a somewhat tougher call.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you go by stats, Logan Noble didn't have a great year, but we know he's a great quarterback behind a just horrible O-line.
Right.
Obviously, Kendrick Hendricks, I wrote an article, I'm going to shamelessly plug that, called Top Target, where I felt Hitch was the top wide receiver in the league this year.
Mm-hmm.
Largely for his red zone reliability. Jonathan Saint, obvious monster of a linebacker. Blaster Blade is the only guy I feel that you could probably sub in with a lot of people around the league and still be okay.
All right. I would agree with that statement. So we got Hayden on there. Who is there? Anybody else you think should have been on? Like if we go to if you're looking at other teams that are on there, is there somebody else you'd? Yeah,
I think if I can go team by team. There's a few folks that I would like to see.
Sure.
Something you mentioned offhand. Wow, was it Florida Delacour?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that real quick? You were breaking up a little bit.
Well, I screwed up, so I kind of don't want to repeat it. But Delacour, I initially said Florida Delacour because I'm a Hogwarts fan.
Okay.
Antoine Delacour, in season 1, he was the only worthwhile part of that secondary. And now that he's actually got support, he's just been amazing. Mm-hmm. And I think he should definitely be a card. Obviously, Kurt Hendricks, he was great as a linebacker in season 1. Mm-hmm. He was an absolute nightmare for quarterbacks in season 2, coming off the edge at defensive end.
Okay.
And obviously played by the GM who had to take over the team after the previous GM left. So both the player and the user kind of deserve that recognition.
Sure.
I'm going to make a similar argument there for the Colorado Yeti. Boss Tweed, played by Pixie now. Tweed was the highest yards per carry of all starting running backs in the league.
Yeah, he was. He was great this year.
Despite the fact that we've all agreed that Yeti's O-line is shit. So to be that great behind that battle line, it's nothing short of heroic. Like, I think he was the best running back this year.
I think I would agree with that sentiment.
It's a valid claim, yeah.
Yeah. So that's 2 guys on, and obviously we got 4 cards per team. We can't have everybody. A lot of teams have some great elite talent, but I feel like him or Hayden, either one of them, you could pop onto that list and probably remove Blaster Blade and be fine. And there's nothing against you, Blaster, if you're listening. That's just saying, statistically speaking, and in terms of roles of the team, you had teammates that are just crushing it. So it makes you look kind of again, you're starting defensive end on most teams in the league, including your own, obviously. But I think that makes it kind of raises the bar for what we'd expect from players when you're surrounded by such talent. What?
Blaster Blade is the only Season 2 player that has a card for the Yeti. And I wonder if they just wanted to make sure that each team had one Season 2 guy.
Interesting.
Because Ragnar Croman for the Otters is the only Season 2 player there.
Okay.
They just struggle to find a Season 2 player for some of these guys.
All right, so I'm looking at this team by team. We've got, who is it on the Hawks? Is it?
There's two of them on the Hawks, Farlane and Turner.
That's okay. That's what I was thinking. Is Farlane and Turner, and then we've got Blaster Blade for the Yeti.
Yep.
We have is it? It's not Stephen Harris, is it? It's Micah Hendricks, right?
Micah Hendricks and Paul DeMario.
Okay. And then
Bjornsson and Lavelle for the Rays.
Yep.
Dustin Evans and Luke Leakley.
Okay.
Surveya is the only one for
the Legion.
And then Cronin is the only one for the Otters, and then Smallwood and Sharpay for the Cats.
Yes. So, it does look like they were trying to include S2 guys in every team because there is one in every team. Even though I think we are both in agreement that the S2 players, while great players, are not necessarily who we would expect from this, it's Series 1. It's first edition. It is this is the start. Why are we not it should be, I don't know if you feel this way, I feel like Season 1 should be the All-Stars. If you're the top of your team, you deserve that card. And especially if you're the number one rusher in the league, you deserve that card.
I feel like as long as there's something about that player you can say, this player absolutely needs to be Series 1 because X. It could be stats. It could be because of, you kind of mentioned with Smallwood, the just devastating impact he had on your locker room.
Right.
You could say qualified him for it doesn't have to be on the field.
Right.
Some of these players just did deserve it for what they're doing, in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like they went out of their way to make sure that each team had one rookie represented, whether they were the most deserving or not.
Sure, and I get the appeal for that. You want to have a rookie card kind of an idea thing.
Can we start Quotagate?
Quotagate? Every series needs a rookie card, and if you're not a rookie, you're wrong. Oh my god. Well, we were going to include you as the top tackler in the league and the top, you put up the best stats in the league and you ran on both sides of the ball, but we already got 3 guys from Season 1 and Season 2, and you're just not a Season 3 player. I guess, there's always next year. We'll get you next year.
Next year they have a horrible season. I already did the Yeti, Tweed and Hayden.
Yep.
For the Liberty, this one was actually kind of tough. Fox North, I feel like he was kind of controversial stat-wise in that he's been accused of pretty much just being a garbage time receiver. For someone who's a rookie,
he's a rookie. Garbage time stats still count. For those of you who play fantasy, you absolutely know this is true. Blake Bortles was not a top draft pick last year in fantasy football because of his amazing play in the first quarter of any game.
Yeah.
It's, Fox North, he may have been the king of garbage time if that's what people are saying, but I think he deserves a card as well. He's still a good receiver. You don't become great at putting up stats even in garbage time if you're not a good receiver.
He was one of the top 5 receivers in my top targets article.
Yeah.
Say what you want about him. He got it done despite having a quarterback who wasn't that good and who wasn't protected that well. He really stepped up big. So I think he does deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Rays.
Also, I want to say Tyler Rolls real quick.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. I cut you straight off.
Tyler Rolls, great cornerback.
I apologize again. You broke up one more time. It might cut out whatever it was.
Tyler Rolls, also for the Liberty, great cornerback.
Oh yeah,
really came in and worked his ass off. Had a lot of interceptions too to
Yeah.
All right, Rafe.
That dude manages to be in the right place at the right time quite frequently.
Having to cover a lot of season 1 wide receivers. I mean, this guy was playing catch up.
Yeah. No, I agree. Dude's killing it.
I'm probably the toughest one in that there's so many. I mean, the rates are kind of you're either an all-star or you're an inactive. Almost. Like, we have the most active players in the league by far.
Right.
Of the ones who are active, but we also have a lot of guys who aren't pulling their weight. So there's so many that are left off. Chris Arose, gotta be, I mean, top quarterback in the league. Quarterback being such a high-profile position.
Mm-hmm.
In just about everything a quarterback wants to lead the league in.
No, he's great.
Ricky Maddox, arguably the best tight end in the league, if not one of the two best.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And because I'm a crooked motherfucker and I'm on the podcast, Kevin Cushing. I don't have anything to actually back that argument up with.
Hey, he was the top linebacker on his team.
Not according to overall rating.
Well, I mean, do we really want to go on rating? There was a report that came out that said that Dan Miller is a 45 overall rated defensive tackle and needs to be replaced in the draft. So we can go with overall rating if you really want. You know what's really fun to do is go into our league in the sim and go to the overall rating thing, and you can choose whether or not personalities count, and it significantly changes things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, because the sim is meant to have personalities where players...
It's a cool feature.
It is, and apparently your overall improves just based on your experience. Like, I did one sim, I tried to do it like the actual way it was intended to be used, and this is a little off topic, sorry people, but it's kind of a fun little anecdote. I went to go draft. You start draft from the available pool of players. I went to grab a quarterback first overall because I wanted to have a solid quarterback and didn't realize that personalities affected your overall rating. So I saw the guy who was ranked 100 overall and oh my God, I'm grabbing this guy. And right below him was a guy who was arguably way better and through the entire first season until I deleted that thing, put up all the better stats because my guy had 8 years of experience, but what I didn't realize was he's going to go immediately into decline. And they said 8 years of experience was worth like 12 points of overall rating. When I turned on the real one, he was ranked like 88 overall. And I was like, oh, come on. So, yeah, that's dumb things. But, yeah, overall is ridiculous. But so Chris Rosas is great. He's fantastic. Linebacker, you said it was a good choice. But the question is, who do you take off? Is it Bjork Bjornsson? Is it Matt Saxonson?
It is Bjornsson.
Okay. That's what I figured, and it's nothing against Bjork. Defensive tackle is not a glamorous position. It doesn't necessarily put up the best stats. He could be fantastic at it. He's probably a big factor into their run defense, but this is not
for part of the season he wasn't. So part of I don't want to go too much into our strategy.
Right.
We didn't have a ton of talent on our defense, and so we had to use it in a way that did not fit anyone's strengths. So Bjornsson switched DE and took a hit to his weight, but we still had him playing nose tackle. So he was getting double teamed. Yeah. Once we switched things up and he actual DE actually played there, he started tearing it up, getting sacks, getting tackles. But he had a gap where he was playing very poorly just because he was kind of playing out of position.
Right.
Likewise, I'm a coverage linebacker. I was playing middle linebacker just because we needed someone who could stop the run. Bjornsson and I both really suffered in stats due to our weaknesses on defense.
Yeah, well, I mean, that happens. But I was going to say, yeah, if you're swapping someone out on the Wraiths, you guys had such a high-powered offense. You can't really take away Josh Garden. And your O-line held up real well, so Axelson was solid. On defense, Dermot Lavelle is probably one of your most standout players. he had a great season. He had 6 picks and a whole bunch of other stats. Like, dude was killing it. So I'm not taking him off that list. So
he had the worst front
Did I
seven
what?
in the league. Look at how many sacks the Rays had.
Mm-hmm.
He had the worst front seven in the league. Where are those sacks coming from? They were coming from Dermot Lavelle shutting down receivers long enough for us to get there.
Yeah.
So Lavelle absolutely deserving.
Right. And that's the only reason I would say Barkley, because I mean, it's not anything against him, but in a defense riddled with some pretty rough stuff. I mean, the blowouts you guys would receive on every once in a while, just because. I mean, it happened to us too. I don't even want to. We're not going to get into the SaberCats Outlaws game. But I mean, you guys were not known for your defense. You were known for a high-powered offense that would just take up the opponent's time, and you're scoring on every single drive. So when Dermot Lavelle is so standout on your defense, I kind of have to let him stay in there, which means Bjornson's the only one who has to go. And I feel bad saying that, but I guess Axelson could be the other one that could go. But, I mean, Josh Gardner's not going anywhere. He's the top receiver in the league. He's arguably the most famous player in the league.
Not only
it's
that,
just
he was a kick returner, a punt returner, and he had 5 tackles as a member of our secondary.
Why was he playing secondary?
We have weaknesses, man. But
Was he in your dime coverage as the dime backer?
He was, yeah.
That's what I thought. I saw it a couple of times. I know Antoine Delacour 2 seasons ago played offense. So, hey, whatever. All right, so Arizona Outlaws, who do you take off? Or, sorry, not who do you take off. Who is missing out?
I actually have a follow-up question where I'm going to talk about the Outlaws quite a bit. So let's skip them. Let's
skip them? Okay, we can skip Outlaws if you're going to talk about them quite a bit. Let's go to the Las Vegas Legion. Who got skipped?
So I would like to see as the number 2 wide receiver. He actually had more receiving yards than Stormblessed. Not a lot of number 2 receivers did that. Yeah. Stormblessed beat in 20 receptions, but LeClaire actually had more yards.
That's super interesting because Stormblessed is, I think, and I could be wrong here, but I've said that way too much on this podcast. But I think I remember after getting blown the fuck out by him enough times, a couple seasons ago, or last season even, that he's the fastest receiver in the league. Or was for a while. He had 90 speed before anybody else. So it surprises me that he's not putting up stupid yards just because he can blow straight by defenders.
So let me correct that. Stormblessed did have more yards. He had only 16 more yards than LeClaire. But LeClaire had more yards per catch and more touchdowns.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry, just more yards per catch, man. I'm screwing that up. At any rate, they were basically equal in stats.
Okay. So, I mean, and that's nothing against Stormblessed, but I can see why he'd be skipped over.
Well,
especially as the number 2 guy putting up stuff, it's the same stuff as what's considered an elite receiver.
Stormblessed actually isn't the one I would remove.
Oh, who would you remove?
Yeah.
Who? Savea.
In yards per carry, the least efficient running back in the league out of all the starters.
Yeah.
Kyle Cobb averaged a full half yard per carry over him.
Weird.
Yeah.
I will sing Savea's praise. I think he's a great guy. I miss him from our team. And I think he unfortunately was behind arguably the worst O-line in the league, but the fact that he's putting up half a yard per carry less. Now, so to put that in a frame of reference, though, what was the difference in carries between him and his number 2?
Wild difference. Cobb, I want to say, had 100 carries all year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Cobb only had 110 carries. They had 227.
Yeah, so that's,
again, 227 carries. That's 7th most because he had a huge burden on him.
Right. Actually, I'm surprised that he has the 7th most with 8 teams in the league.
So it's less surprising when you consider the fact that in Orange County, Jenkins and Bowers basically went all year.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And split 50-50.
I was not paying attention to Right, but there's that. But I mean, there's 8 teams in the league. Somebody is a number. What you'd assume that? Oh, you're saying those two were like number 8-ish, 8, 9. Okay, then that makes sense. So, yeah. But now that still blows my mind because you're saying that Artie Sevilla, arguably the number 1 starter on his team, with kind of a third down relief back in a sense. I don't know. I don't claim to know their offensive strategies. I could look it up, but I don't need to right now for the point I'm trying to make. Is as a primary back for a team, as the starting primary back, is the least amount of carries arguably in the league because of the committee. If you take out that committee and you just go all the leagues who have a primary back with a spell back, he is the least amount of carries in the league, and that is...
It's not that straightforward, unfortunately.
It's not?
Yeah, because Cobb had the 10th most carries in the league, so...
Oh, okay.
I would say he was somewhere in between a committee back and a spell back.
Okay, never mind. That makes me feel a little bit better.
I would say Cobb was the spell back and the third down back.
Okay.
So he was somewhere in between committee and backup.
Gotcha. Okay. So that makes me feel better, even just for Sevilla's sake. Like, yeah. I've got no. He's he was a good friend of the team. He's a great guy. He just got that new GM position. Congratulations, Sevilla. It's surprising to me that he's not doing as well as I know he can be. If that makes sense. And it might not. And I'm hoping that your microphone still works. And that
you still sound good to me.
What?
I'm hearing you just fine.
No, I know. I was making sure I could hear you. Was the bigger concern there.
Right. So, moving down the teams, Orange County. I'm not sure if I would not talk about him. Franklin Harris retired at the end of the season, so he's done. His career is over.
Who retired at the end of the season? I'm sorry, your mic cut out.
Franklin Harris, linebacker for the Orange County Otters.
All I got was backer. So one more time, and I apologize.
Franklin Harris, linebacker for the Orange County Otters.
Franklin Harris, thank you. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with the microphone situation. Where, believe me, people listening, we are trying to fix it, and we're doing the best we can. So Franklin Harris, linebacker for the Orange County Honors, you think is one of the ones who got skipped over who should be on there?
Well, I'm not sure. I think he was a noteworthy player in that he's probably the first top-tier player to retire.
Okay.
I think he's noteworthy for the fact that he played 2 seasons and retired, despite being a very worthwhile contributor. Like, this wasn't some scrub who's like, yeah, it wasn't what I hoped, I'm going to start over. He was doing well. Like, he was a big part of that Orange County defense.
Right.
And so on one hand, you could say, fuck him, he doesn't deserve a card, because he kind of screwed his team over pretty bad. He waited 2 hours to retire. He could have still played out all of this season.
Huh.
So on one hand, yeah, fuck him, he doesn't deserve a card. On the other hand, that's too interesting for me to not want to commemorate.
Maybe we'll get some special edition packs of League Legends or something where it's all sorts of crazy things. Like, it'll be him for that. It will be Carmel Gibson will be in there. Who else can we put in there? Who was Peterson can be in there for having been traded and then immediately retiring and then immediately unretiring.
That's a good one, yeah.
Oh, who else could be in there that's fun? Is there anybody who
you could say Berkowitz for being the first huge free agent. You could say Vic Bowers for the fact that there are the possible tampering allegations going to Orange County, and then again retiring almost immediately after. By the way, Orange County, they are now officially the Detroit Lions of the Nsfl. They have forced more early retirements.
Oh, as a Lions fan, that hurts me on the. Oh, why'd you do me like that? I just bought season tickets. But yeah, I would love, honestly, if the card commissioners are listening, I would love a Legends of the League kind of thing where we have all or the league controversy things or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that where we commemorate all the ridiculous things that have happened without this league. Or throughout this league. Oh, man.
Yeah, I only got 2 names left. By the way, George Wright is the other one for the Otters.
Okay.
Let the league receptions, I feel like that's a kind of
no-brainer. Who you pulling off then?
Ragnar Cronin every single time.
Okay. Yep. I would agree with that sentiment. I would agree. Okay. So then we got the San Jose SaberCats. Who's left?
Shane Weston. I mentioned how Alex Hayden was one of 2 players to get a kick return and punt return touchdown. Shane Weston was the other one. Had to play as number 1 receiver for the second half of the season after the Bailey Cook trade. And the other, Ethan Hunt, he was a really interesting one. Starting off the season on fire.
Yep.
And then, when it fell apart hard. But
trust me.
Only mobile quarterback in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And for the hope that he gave San Jose in those first 5 weeks. Again, how can you not want to commemorate something that memorable?
Oh yeah. He filled us with hope for the first, I would say, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Because we would win, loss, win, and we're like, all right, we're up. And then we lost, like, whatever, 3-2. And then 9-game losing streak later. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right, so who do you take off the list to put Ethan Hunt or...
It's actually the toughest one to pick a removal from. I'm going to say Darren Smallwood just because of his short amount of time with the team and the fact that he was the number 2 receiver.
I will agree with you on those terms.
This was a really tough one. All 4 people are talented. All 4 are active. I really can't say any of them are unworthy.
I think at least 3 of the 4 are going to the Pro Bowl, too.
Yeah. I can see that.
The only one, I don't know if Smallwood is or not. I haven't gone through all the Pro Bowl rankings. That's not true. I have gone through all the Pro Bowl rankings, but only for the self-righteous thing of looking for my name. And Davey, I saw what you did. Also, for those who voted in the Pro Bowl, it's John Canton, not to be confused with Josh Canton, the wealthy investor who is part of the Wraiths organization and known pedophile. Just so we have that cleared up. I mean, with the caliber of players they chose among the SaberCats organization, and I know we're kind of a garbage fire. We're not full on dumpster fire. We're not the Legion, but we are very, very much the garbage fire that starts outside when a raccoon finds a box of matches in your garbage can. Looking at that, I think the caliber of players that they chose was great and makes it really difficult to pick someone who doesn't belong there. But I would agree with your assessment that if you have to pick one, Darren Smallwood is there. And it's nothing against you, Darren. I love you to death. It is that you have not been part of the team quite as long as Shane Weston, who absolutely killed it, picked it right up where Rain Delay left off, and where it has done amazing with it. 1,000-yard season, good on you, man.
Okay, so that's all the teams.
Except the Outlaws, which you had said we're going to talk about a lot, and I'm curious as to why.
Well, because the next question I have for you, I know my answer for it will involve the Outlaws.
Okay.
Which player on this list of the ones that have cards is the least worthy? We are going full hot take. Time to call someone out.
I have to call someone out.
Gotta pick one.
I have to pick one.
On the list, yeah.
I'm gonna receive backlash. You've just halved my subscriber count from 3 to 1.5, and it's gonna be myself listening and Dan Miller half-heartedly beating off to porn while the other hand is the other earbud has this going on, so he can read it, so he can get it done with the day. So if I have to pick one, oh God, looking at it, I agree with you. It's on the Outlaws, and if I'm picking one, it's one of these two guys, and I'm curious to see. I can't wait to hear what yours are. I'm going either Dustin Evans. I think he's a solid receiver. I just don't know that we've got an overflow of receivers, and I don't know that he's put up the most impressive stuff as far as the receivers on the list go, and as far as even players on his own team that deserve praise. And that's not that he doesn't. Again, I'm not trying to ruffle too many feathers. I know I'm defending myself, but and then if I have to go with the other one, who I think probably also needs to be out there, Luke Leakley, however you want to pronounce that. I know you're based on Luke Kuechly. So Luke Leakley is my other one there. I think he is, while a starter on every team, I think he's the worst linebacker on his team.
That's the downside of playing best linebacker. You can be the worst linebacker on your team. He would have been the best linebacker on 3 different teams. Well, I guess like 2 different teams this year.
Right.
Because.
Yeah, I mean, he would have. He's a great linebacker, but.
That would have been the best linebacker on the race until Hackett came there. He would have been the best linebacker on the Liberty all season. But he is the worst guy in that linebacker core on the Outlaws. And so for me, it's Leakley. And that's the reason why. Like, not only is he not the best guy, he's not one of the best 2. Because the best 2 linebackers, arguably in the entire league, are in Arizona, and neither got a fucking card. First episode of the night. Jalen Lee led the league in tackles and is the only guy who could have held that middle in a 4-3 as much as they blitzed and not given up huge rushes.
Yeah.
Kareem Ernston killed it with sacks, with interceptions. He shut down Matthew Vincent playing as quarterback in the playoffs, in the Ultimate Bowl. This guy was playing at cornerback. He played at safety as well throughout the league. This guy was all over the defense and was a nightmare no matter where he played. The fact that neither of those guys got a card, and you see that name, Luke Leakley, what an insult to 2 of the most deserving players in the league. So that's why I got to go.
Yeah, but I mean, as you were saying, man, it seems like they had a quota, and they had to fill that quota with S2 players, and Luke Leakley's a great S2 player.
Yeah, and one of the best draft steals as well.
Yeah, where did he go?
Oh, geez, I want to say 4th round, but I'm pulling that out of my ass. I could be wrong. But he actually had more TPE than I did at every point this year. Like, at the draft, he had more TPE than I did. I went 13th overall and would have gone higher had I not pissed people off. He was a complete sleeper, and I think the reason why is because I was doing all that media, which everyone was reading, so people saw my name. He was just quietly doing his graphics. So he was still doing the money, he was still doing all the tasks, but it wasn't as visible.
I will say that's been something that I keep forgetting to check, because the graphics department generates a ton of revenue, and there's a ton of players who just keep pumping that stuff out week to week and get all their money and get all their gear and get all their training, and you see him climb up through the ranks, and you're like, where is this guy? I haven't heard him say much in the media. I haven't heard really much of anything. So why is he all of a sudden showing up with all this crazy stuff? And it's that media stuff, and it keeps guys who are definitely, as we're coming up on draft, we start to see these guys who are not as prominent in the media. They pump out the graphics, and they get the points, and they go as sleepers.
Outlaws did their homework, and that's why they're champions back to back.
Yeah, they did. So yeah, I mean, Luke Leakley, great player, great guy. definitely a significant part of the Outlaws' dominant front seven, but still not the best linebacker on his team. And I think if we're going through and we're saying team by team, is there anybody on there that doesn't deserve to be on there? The Outlaws are the only ones that really have anybody that doesn't deserve to be on there. And it's not that he doesn't deserve, but that you don't think should have been passed up.
In the league, basically. I mean,
yeah,
that's top 50 is tough to get on. This is top 32.
Yeah.
And the other one, I mean, you said Dustin Evans.
Yeah.
Aaron Jackson was a top 5 wide receiver in this league this year.
Mm-hmm.
He was number 4 in yardage. He was one of the most reliable in terms of team targets, team yards, team touchdowns. In every way you would want a wide receiver to produce, Jackson got it done.
Yeah, he did.
So again, just seeing a wide receiver, 6 wide receivers who made this list, which again, way too many. But if you had to pick a wide receiver from the Outlaws, it has to be Jackson.
If I had to pick a wide receiver from the Outlaws, I don't know that I picked Dustin Evans.
Yeah, it's got to be Aaron Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, at least we agree with each other. So hopefully the backlash won't be too bad.
I mean, at the very, very least, there's that. At the most, there is, we'll both receive equal backlash. We'll have guys coming in saying that we're totally fucking wrong and that we don't deserve to be making any kind of statements on who deserves cards and stuff. But I would love to hear a little bit, if they are listening, from the card missioners. And maybe I'll see if one of you guys would be so glad as to come on my show and have a sit-down chat with me. Maybe Kckolbe can come on as well. I'm sure we'd love to hear about your selection process. I'm sure it was long and arduous. I'm sure it was one of the more difficult things you've had to do in the league so far. But I am curious as to what goes into that thing. If there was a quota, if there was not a quota, I don't know if they will or not. Would you be interested in that too? I feel like that's something the league would love to hear.
And if nothing else, I'd love to see Shadows just get in here and have the chance to kind of talk about all the stuff he did. It was an amazing undertaking, and
it really was.
A new guy in the league to come in and really add this much to the culture of our league. I hope he gets a chance to come on and talk about it.
I've got, like I've said, I've got that whole series I want to do where I sit down with higher ups, and it's Shadows, and I don't know how to say his name, but I say it Beezercap. I'm sure there's a better way to pronounce his name, but if either of them would come on, or both, that'd be awesome. Talk about what they went through to put out this awesome product that we have out here, the draft cards. Talk about what's going into that, how they came up with the idea, how they decided on the players, maybe how they are. I mean, what they had to go through to get this up and live. There's so much that goes into it, and I'd love to hear the inner workings behind that. I'm sure the listener, anybody who listens to this, however few of you there are, if you wanted, I'm sure you guys would be interested in that too. I know I'm not the best interviewer in the world, but I'd love to give it a go. Kckolbe, you are more than welcome. If I get that, I'll shoot you a call. See if we can get you in there talking to them about that kind of stuff. You seem to have done a ton of homework on these cards. You were way more ready for this than I expected. Not in a bad way. I've loved it. I've had a lot of fun talking with us. I think these cards are going to, though they already have, I think they're going to continue to take the league by storm. I can't wait to see what happens when we get Series 2 of cards out. I can't wait to see what all these look like. So far, we've had a very brief preview in the things of what cards are going to look like, what they kind of act like. I want to see this card economy pop up. I think that'll be really cool. Seeing trades not only for other cards, but for money. See if people can put those up as bets. I'm sure we'll start seeing that coming in. I can't wait to see how this affects the league as a whole. And I'm sure you all can agree with me that They are something that is here to stay and a very good thing to add to the league. They've brought us one step closer to being a fully legitimate, fully fledged, self-sustaining little environment of this world we put ourselves in on a daily or weekly basis and kind of help us become the players that we've made. So once again, we're basically at the end here. Once again, I want to thank Kckolbe for coming on, joining me, helping me out with all the stats, talking cards with me. You will hear him come back for our post-draft recap. Hopefully we can get some mic situations figured out. I don't know exactly what that was. Thank you for putting up with that. I don't blame him at all. I don't blame anybody. I think it was just a weird circumstance going on. Hopefully my edits make a little bit of sense as we go through this. It's just when for whatever reason, Mike would cut out. You guys will have to deal with that a little bit. But Kckolbe, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure talking with you. I will see you on Thursday for our draft recap. Good luck on your card pulls. I know you already got some great stuff. I'm sure you'll get some more stuff in the future. If anybody's listening, if you pull a John Canton autograph, PM me. Anything you want to say here, Casey?
No, this is my first podcast, and this was a lot of fun, so really thanks for letting me be on this.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. I've had a lot of fun. You're a cool guy to talk to. Seem to know your stuff. I know way more about the stuff than I do. You've got some crazy, crazy, crazy stats you've got behind there. You're putting out some awesome articles on a weekly basis. So I look forward to reading the next one you have up. For everybody else, thanks for listening, and see you after the draft.